Now, before you start working with Docker, the first thing you need to do is install the Docker engine in your computer. And from here, you have quite a few different options depending on what you are doing and where you are installing Docker. If you are installing Docker in your own development environment, you can go directly to docker.com. Here in developers, you can go to getting started. And from here, you can just install Docker Desktop. From here, you will have the list of all the different operating systems supported by Docker Desktop. You pick the one that you are using at the moment and you just install the application. For example, in this case, I'm working on macOS using an Intel chip. So in this case, I will pick for Intel. From here, once Docker has finished downloading, you can just open the installer. You just drag and drop the Docker application into the applications folder. Once we have finished copying this, you will have the Docker application in your Launchpad. Here you can see the Docker desktop dashboard. From here you can sign in to your Docker account if you have one. Otherwise, you can use this just as it is. Here in the left menu you have containers, displaying all the running containers that you have. You also have images where you can see all the different Docker images that are available in your computer. Here you have the list of all the different volumes that you have created and you can use across all the different containers. So this is the view of Docker Desktop. But the most important part for us is making sure that if you go to a terminal and you type Docker, you should see an output like this. This is because when you install Docker Desktop, Docker is also installing the Docker engine itself, that is the one installing the Docker CLI. If you go here to docs.docker.com/engine, you will have all the documentation for installing the Docker engine on the different operating systems that you might be using. Here on Install Docker Engine, you will have the list of all the supported different operating systems you have. And from here, you can pick the one where you want to install Docker. In this case, this will install just the Docker engine itself without installing Docker Desktop. So you will be able to run Docker on the CLI tool like this, just by installing the Docker engine. Here you have the instructions for all the different operating systems you have. For example, in this case for Raspberry Pis, it is using the ARM architecture, and from here you have the instructions that you need to follow in order to install the Docker engine. This is really important because at the end of the day, what you want to have installed in your system is the Docker engine itself. If you're going to be using Docker Desktop, that's perfect. But under the hood, whenever you install Docker Desktop, what Docker is also installing is the Docker engine itself. And this is what we want to use in our servers, in our different instances where we use Docker. We want to have the Docker engine itself. At the end of the day, what you want to have is make sure that whenever you go to the terminal and you type Docker, you see this output, so you are able to run the Docker CLI on your terminal.